Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is something that we feel like we need to talk about, so we're going to go ahead and do it. We're doing a little bit of a little podcast action here, just talking about mainly the state of Bloodhunt, some of the issues it has, some suggestions we may have for it, and just talk a little bit about the game. Some of you guys, probably don't know about it. Some of you guys are curious how other people feel about it. And that's what we're here to hopefully help you guys out with today. So a little bit about myself. I have been playing competitive shooters for probably 15 years or so. I was very, very competitive in the Gears of War scene. That's where I kind of, accelerated my gameplay, I guess you could say. I played semi-professionally, played on a really good team, had a sponsorship, all that stuff. Played some back on the game battles days, back on Call of Duty and some Halo. It wasn't that great at Halo, but Call of Duty and Gears of War is where I shined specifically. So, and myself, I've got a lot of time on this game. I've got over 100 hours, and I enjoy it quite a bit. So today we have here RGB Gremlin, which is right below me. And then we have Rippin, that is at the bottom of the screen below him. So I'll let these guys introduce themselves a little bit, and then we'll get to it.
What's up? RGB Gremlin, a.k.a. a ZR Deception. Pretty much everything he said minus anything after Gears 1. Because my game broke. My game disc broke. And I could not afford to replace it. But got a bunch of time, over 100 hours in Bloodhunt. Huge fan, love it, and I need to see somebody breathe some life into this thing, because this is one of the few games that I've played lately that I feel would be a shame to let it die, especially this early. But I would prefer just not to die at all, but that's unrealistic. And so yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Rippin?
Yeah, so similar path. Started competitive gaming on Halo 2 back in the day when my young self could actually afford the wireless Xbox adapter. First time I ever got a chance to actually play online. But transitioned into Gears of War, which, like you, is where I really shined. Haven't really been able to hit that groove in any other game since, but hoping to get it back soon. Just been playing competitive gaming or competitive shooters for a while now, mixing in some sports games, Madden, 2K, things like that, but mostly just trying to find some shooters that are actually good. And like Alex, I think Bloodhunt has the potential, just need to see what they can do with their updates and their fixes.
Cool. And yeah, that was just a quick little background about us. I mean, really, we've all known each other for a long time, and we've got a lot of time under our belt as far as competitive shooters go. And I forgot to mention too that we all just transitioned over to PC and mouse and keyboard about 2 years ago. Kind of been on and off.
Yeah.
So I mean, we come from a console background, but we have hundreds of hours cumulative under this game, and we all enjoy it a lot. And we want to
newly approved or carpal tunnel to prove it.
Yeah, we just
both hands.
We came together because we want to see this game succeed. So that's the main thing why we're doing this video today. So I just want to start off by saying that Sharkmob, we really appreciate what you guys have done with this game. I think you guys have done a great job. I mean, the game itself, I think it looks awesome. I mean, the biggest thing for me, though, is how it plays. Mechanically, the physics, everything, it just has a really good feel to it. And it's a blast to play. but it does have its shortcomings. But even so, with those, it's still a great game to play. I mean, to be honest, the game is way too damn good to have such a low player base as it does at the moment. And which brings me to my first thing, or our first thing. I think one of the big things about that we've all talked about it, and from what we've gathered from other people, I think a lot of people just don't know that this game is out there. And even if they do, they don't even know what it is. And I think that could be, due to advertising. To be honest, I haven't seen a whole lot of advertising around this game. And I mean, that could take a big hit. I mean, if you don't advertise in any shape, way, or form, or just on a very small level, people don't know about it. People aren't going to see it. And like I said earlier, even if they see it, they don't necessarily know what the game is, especially when it's coming from a franchise like Vampire the Masquerade. It's a completely different game than what the original version is, right? I mean, this is a battle royale. So a lot of people might get turned off to the fact that they're looking at Vampire the Masquerade. They see this, realize, oh, this is a battle royale. This is not Vampire the Masquerade that I'm used to. That could be a turn off, or they might just not look into it any more than what they saw originally. So I think, we all agree that a lot of people just don't know about it. And I also feel that you guys brought it to PC and to PlayStation 5. Awesome. The Xbox thing, though, I think really hurts it. For whatever reasons you guys decided to not do it on Xbox, that's up to y'all. But I mean, I feel like that's a large player base that you guys aren't capturing. So I don't necessarily agree with that idea. But I'm sure you guys have your reasons. What do you guys think about that? As far as, people knowing about the game, advertising, what are things that are going on or not going on? What do you guys think?
I mean, I know that there's not any advertising going on that I can tell. I mean, just my group of friends that I was talking to in another Discord last night, not one of them knew what the game was when I told them. When I told them about it, like a few of them just lit up at the sound of it. BR with vampires and vampire abilities, and they wanted me to stream it immediately. And two of them are interested in playing it soon, and one of them's like already playing it today. But yeah, a lot of people just flat out don't know about it.
And
or
advertising
getting around to it.
Advertising is tough though, because it's all based around money, right? What's the biggest way to advertise a video game? You get a big name streamer to play it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that can cost a lot of money depending on who you get. So it could be just that they don't have the money to do it. It could be that they've tried and been turned down. Whatever it is, just they need to do something. Just like Alex said, we've had people jump into the Discord while we're playing, ask us what we're doing. We're saying, "Oh, we're playing Bloodhunt." Oh, what's that? Right? It's not a very well-known game, but with a little bit of exposure and a little bit of a breakdown on what it is, how it's different than the actual, what is it, the tabletop game?
The RPG, yeah, and stuff like that.
The
RPG.
Original. Yeah. How it's a little bit different than that, but how they pull stuff in. Just a little bit of a background on it would be really useful if they could get that out in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think it's important that not only do people see the game, like see it like, hey, here's Bloodhunt, it's in your face, whatever, but they need to know what the game's about, like maybe showcase the abilities or just how the game's played in general, like the heightened senses thing, like what we had a guy the other night was talking about, and it was like, what is that? Like he didn't know what it was, what it did, stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people don't have a general understanding of what the game is and how it's played. And Ripon also made a good point about, streamers and stuff like that. I mean, you had a game like Apex Legends, for example. Apex Legends is huge, and they did a very smart thing. Now, granted, they have a lot of bankroll. I mean, they're a bigger studio. Sharkmob is not a big studio. It's newer. We get that, and which makes it even more impressive, the game that you guys built. So we give you kudos for that, for sure. But nobody knew about Apex. And the reason, I think largely one of the reasons why Apex blew up the way that it did is because they had all these big streamers that were playing it and promoting it. And it was also a great game. So they enjoyed playing it and they kept playing it. Whenever Bloodhunt came out, you guys had some, larger streamers play, like Shroud, for example. And this is the thing I'm trying to grasp my head around. Shroud played this game. He played in one of the tournaments you guys held. And he stated that he really enjoyed the game. That's awesome. You've got a big name streamer that's playing the game. He's advertising it for you and he enjoys it. But he's not continuing to play it. And that's the
game.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to understand, which we have some ideas on why he may not, or why people in general don't stick around. So yeah, I mean, it's just the thing of whether it's through streamers, whether it's through YouTubers, whatever the case may be, more people need to know about this game. I think that's one of the biggest things. Those chips are going crazy in the video. I apologize. So yeah. Another thing that we want to get to is kind of the state of the game, like how the game plays. I've heard multiple people complain about it, and I can see it. It doesn't bother us as much as it may other people, but I mean, let's be real. I can't even talk. Let's be real here. This game is and can be very, very sweaty. I mean, there's other games like Apex and stuff like that that can get really sweaty. This game, however, I think takes it to a whole nother mode. I mean, it really does. And I think it can be a big turnoff, especially for newer players, because you get in, especially if people have been playing for a while already. These new players come in, they're trying to understand the game, but they're just getting sweat on out the gate. And that's rough for any game. But this game brings a few other things to the table that I think contribute to that. So, I mean, one of the things that we were talking about, well, first off, I mean, what do you guys think about the whole like sweatiness of this game compared to other games?
Well, so I think one of the biggest things is look at the difference on how you start out, right? Most other battle royales, I think all of them, I can't think of anything that doesn't, but you start in something flying through the air, you jump out, you fly down, and you pick a landing spot, right? So if you're new to the game and you don't want to get in the shit right away, you kind of like fly off a little bit, find a spot where no one's at, make sure you're by yourself, you can jump around and loot and, try to figure out some different things, look at different locations. With Bloodhunt, you pick a spot and you can kind of see a small area around you where other people might be, but it's not a ton of information. And then it just shows you the whole map where everyone is, and all of a sudden, right where you're starting, you've got, 5 other teams right next to you.
Right.
And when you start, there's a chance that you can get pushed before you can even get with your teammates, because you kind of start off a little bit away from your team. You have a chance of getting pushed by another team before you can even get close to your teammates. Right. So in that sense, just starting off is sometimes a little bit rough.
I agree. Gremlin, anything on that? Anything to add? We'll keep going into it. But.
Yeah, well, I mean, one idea I was having that would cut down on the sweatiness would be to cut down on the distance that gunshots can be heard by like 50%. And that way, like, it'll cut down on the range that you can get third partied. I mean, you can hear people from so far away, in the length of time that it takes for some of these fights to finish. There's just one team after another. As one team almost gets fully knocked, another team arrives. Then 15, 20 seconds later, another team arrives, and then another team arrives. And it's because they can just hear you from all over the map. Well, not all over, but
you can hear from a pretty good ways away.
Yeah,
pretty good distance away.
And the visual cues you can see from a good ways away too.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it, you pop the visual cues, and it's good to go. You go. I mean, on top of that, you can also see for the most part, I mean, what, from one side of Memorial all the way over to shopping.
Yeah, you see like
that's insane.
a full district or two away. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine to see it, but it's like, I feel like if you want to be pursuing these fights, your team should be moving more until you get within range to hear it, which would benefit from a shorter distance.
Right, and that's one of the things too about how this game kind of operates. Like all the stuff we're talking about here, like basically we're saying, you get sweat on. It's very, very hectic for new players, and I think that could be the lack of game mode support, which is a direct correlation with player count. I mean, obviously, the less players you have playing the game, the harder it is to have multiple game modes. You need that player base to support that. But for these newer players coming in, they don't have a lot of time to allocate to the game. I mean, it's rough for new players. And the way this game operates at its core, which is cool, it's unique. But I think it's the combination of, I don't know if it's either the size of the map, the design of the map, where there's a lot of verticality. There's multiple things that play into the third party aspect being worse than in other games. And we've made a joke about this in the past. Gremlin came up with it, is that there's third parties in this game. But unlike other games, the third party in here turns from a third party into a block party very quickly. I mean, you'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 teams fighting the same fight essentially. And I think that really, I think that it goes off of how the game operates in general, because the movement on this game is incredible. You can cover a lot of distance very quickly. And like I said with the things earlier, with either the design or the size, or like Rippin said, you spawn at a place like a high tier loot area, and then once right before the game starts, you see that there's 6, 7, 8 other teams spawning right around you. So things can collide very quickly. So I think a couple things need to change. Like Gremlin suggested the sound thing, like reducing the amount of sound that you can pick up on. That could help. But I mean, with all these variables, it just allows for people to push fights in third party and block party fights very, very, very quickly. And I've tuned into multiple streams where people will complain about it, but yeah, I see why people stop playing this game. Because of all these things, it makes the game unique, but it makes it very hectic. It can make it very stressful, and in a lot of cases, it can make it a very, very irritating scenario, especially with these other BRs on the table. Why would people want to sit there and play constantly in such an irritating environment that can, it's so fast paced. Things can change, at the drop of a hat. Yeah. It's very, very stressful at times. And we as a group, we get stressed out about it from time to time. But the thing with us is we've played the game long enough to, expect it coming. And we enjoy the game so much that it's not big enough of a deterrent to keep us from playing it. But it is very, very irritating. And another thing that we also believe that contributes to that, which is another unique aspect of the game. In most BRs, when you get downed, you will have a bleed out. If your teammates don't get to you in a certain amount of time to res you, you will die. This game's not like that. This game is the opposite, which I think creates a very... it just adds to another stressful situation. You down a guy on this game, you have a certain amount of time to kill them before they automatically get back up. Great concept. But when it's comboed with all the other factors this game has to offer, with the movement, how the map's designed, with the amount of players that spawn around you, it makes it more stressful than it needs to be.
And on that note, like it's like you mentioned, it's the gameplay, because you have an ability where if you get down, you can teleport yourself and basically shoot yourself in a specific direction. which makes it almost impossible to find that person after you down them.
Especially in the middle of a
you-
fight.
In the middle of a fight, yeah. Unless you're watching them after you down them, you're not going to find them. Or we had this issue before where someone fell off of a building into a bush, and we were using, heightened senses, which should highlight people red, and we're running through the bush that this guy is downed in, and we just don't see him. We're 2 feet away looking all around and just cannot find him. So I think that those are the bigger issues. Is it's not necessarily how it's operating, because I think it is different and it is unique, which can be fine. It's the other factors of, if you lose the guy during a fight, they're guaranteed to get up.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not even annoying that they get up, because you get up, you don't really have health. You're
Right. Yeah.
trying to heal. It's just that they get up, they run away, they get their team back.
Yeah. And I know we kind of briefly talked about it last night, but I was thinking, like, now granted they have to have the players support, the player base to support this, but if they could add in other game modes, maybe more like an arena style game mode, or like an arena style map, something like that, and then maybe have it to where one of those game modes has a normal bleed out, kind of like Gears of War back in the day. They had Warzone, which is like this game, to where they would, the player that got down would automatically get back up on their own. Or they could have it like they also had, which was Execution, which is normal. The player goes down, they don't get back up unless their teammate reses them.
Yep,
So
that was the competitive one.
And that was the more competitive game mode, like Rippin said. So I like the uniqueness of that the player can get back up, but I also think that a game mode, or, if you guys want to tweak it across the board, which I don't think would probably be the best idea, but a specific game mode to where it was a normal bleed out, like it is in other BRs, where that teammate's got to res him if he's going to stay in the fight. I think that could improve some things. And it's a new game mode. You could lower the player count, make it like an arena, something more competitive. I think that would be a really good addition. It gives people a little something different. It gives them something that they're more used to, and it's more of a controlled environment to kind of take out all the hectic stuff that happens in a game on here, which is great. But I think it's
Year 3 up against another.
Or you could do just a 3v3, or you could do like a smaller arena with just like maybe
like
5 teams or something. Yeah, like something like that.
BGs on ESO, that's what, 4v4?
That's 3 teams. Yeah. So it's 3v3v3. Something like that could even work possibly. But yeah, I mean, the point is that's the thing that sucks, is that a lot of the things that we're bringing up is what makes this game awesome, and it makes it unique. But I can see why a lot of people get turned off to it, because it does contribute to a very stressful and hectic environment, which, is a big turnoff for a lot of people. You guys got anything else to say on that?
Not necessarily a game mode, but something that I've been wanting for every VR that I've ever played that has never been an option. You remember back when we were playing Gears of War competitively, doing all the game battles and everything.
Yeah.
We would spend a ton of time just loading into a private match, walking around the map, looking at the environment, looking at the different sections, figuring out, okay, if we're at this spot and we're getting shot from this spot, what do we do? How do we rotate? Where do we move?
Right.
You go in, you learn the map, and then you put your, game plan together. I get that battle royales are larger maps, but having the ability to actually load into the map and be able to free run, learn the map, figure out the different locations, the different building types, the different, streets, the different, escape routes for when you get stuck somewhere, that would be huge. And that's not even just for this game, that's for any VR.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Oh, and then also the thing too, going back on the self-res type thing, how the bleed out works on this game. If you guys did change something along those lines to where it was, like a normal BR to where they died when they bled out. You guys could even possibly implement like a self-res item, you know, so or you know, make it
red gas neutralizer.
Yeah, something, you know, like
you have on you gives you that ability, and then it would have an audible cue to it when it's being used.
Right, yeah, or like
on Apex or
with the gold knockdown shield, something like that.
You hear it, you know it's happening. It's not extremely loud. I think they even lowered the volume of it.
Yeah.
But if you ignore it, like, you can pull it off, but especially in the middle of a fight, you can't really hear it.
Yeah, and you can also see it when they deploy the gold shield. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a great addition. I don't know if I would do one without the other, but I think that would be great.
It's if when they were using it, it had like some audible or visual cue, like, I don't know if it was like, not like the red gas exactly, but like some kind of like swirling gas or smoke or something that came in the ground and like was spiraling around you or something. So not from real far away and not a big cloud like a Saboteur bomb or anything, but enough to where if it was happening behind a car, you'd be like, ooh, even if it was just like some black wind.
Maybe like a swarm of bats comes in. Instead of taking the blood, they give the blood back.
That right there is dope.
See, that would come on, Sharkmob. We come up with some dime pieces
like
here.
The there, and then maybe like the bats like pick you up and then
yeah,
done.
like that would be pretty awesome. And one of the other things too, solos on this game are awesome. Like they bring probably the most unique feature, which is that you get so you have the self-res aspect, but you also have where you feed on certain civilians, you can gain an extra life. That's awesome. Personally though, I don't think you should be able to have both. I think that makes for, I mean, you can argue because this game is so fast-paced and everything, you can die very quickly, that, you know, you're essentially giving them two options on a way to continue playing. So, I mean, I get it, but I personally think it would probably make for a better playing environment if you gave that player the option either to be able to, you know, get back up automatically if nobody finishes them, or if you gave them a self-res item that was in the game, or if you give them an extra life. I don't necessarily think that they should have the option of both. And then maybe you could switch those things up into different game modes, like, you know,
you already do.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You got windy and.
Is there a cap?
You can only have one extra life in the bank.
At one time.
Yeah.
But when you die, you can get them again.
As long as you can find another.
Which they aren't that hard to find, honestly.
I mean, there's been times where it's really hard to find them, and there's been times where I've literally died, like, back to back to back, really.
Get like 5 or 6 lives.
Yeah, 5 or 6 lives. And then up to a point, I think it's like 5 people left, or it's a certain ring, there's a cutoff. And it can happen in the middle of you dying and then respawning. And then it'll cut it out. No more respawns at all.
Yeah, so like even there, right, cap it. Say, okay, you know, we're going to give you the ability to have an extra life, but you can only do it twice.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, because there's just a lot of things that contribute to it. I mean, I don't know that.
Like how?
What?
Like, I guess you would have a ticker or
Yeah, there's certain things that So I guess that brings us to our next point. Is
OP on solos, dude. The fact that she can feed like that
very quickly, yeah.
God, dude. Yeah, dude. I've had people on me, and I'll, where's that red? Boom. Shoot myself over to him. Grab it. Boom. Back. I got my life. Oh, you killed me? I'm coming right back. That's fine.
Right. I guess our next thing would be a lot of people complain about bugs and stuff on this game. I mean, there's some validity to it, obviously.
They're not game breaking to me, though.
Right. The only one that I see right now that is, it's kind of game breaking is the reload bug.
What annoys me about that? So really quick, sorry to interrupt. The reload bug, if nobody has seen this, Basically, when you go to reload, your gun will reload, but then it'll basically when you try to shoot somebody, it'll reload again. So
be
you
empty.
reload your gun, and then it has to just automatically reload again afterward. So my issue with that isn't necessarily that it's a bug. It's very annoying, and I think it is a game breaker. But I haven't seen any mention of it.
Oh, I have.
I mean, not from the community, from Sharkmob.
Oh, I think they have on the Twitter page. I think they.
Don't. I've
Yeah.
looked on the Twitter page and I've looked in their updates and everything for what they're planning on doing.
Mhm.
I haven't really seen it. I could be wrong, but I feel like that. I mean, especially since I'm in the tech industry and I'm doing release engineering, that to me is a huge game-breaking bug that should have been fixed like patch number 1.
It should have, and I think that's what a lot of people are complaining about.
Number 1 though.
It was, but honestly, it's gotten worse with this patch. It's gotten worse.
No, I remember you guys talking about it mainly happening with like the toggler. Was it only a problem with the toggler 2 weeks ago?
No,
it's every
now
gun.
I'm having it.
No, it's with every gun. It's real hit or miss. Yeah, I mean, me and Rippin both got the funny thing. We were playing a game. Me and Rippin both had the toggler, and at the same time, both of us had to reload 5 times before it went away.
Luckily, we weren't in a fight. We were trying to fight,
right?
And we were pushing a team, and we would, be moving and try to shoot, and gotta reload. All right, let's reload and keep moving. Okay, we're reloaded. Let's shoot. Nope, gotta reload again.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving. So we're chasing this team, trying to shoot at them, and our gun just keeps constantly reloading.
And see, that makes me curious to know if it's something that's server side, like if it's, you know what I mean? Because maybe like multiple people in the lobby are all getting that reload bug at the same time, possibly. I don't know.
It's possible.
But it makes you wonder.
No, because the guy on the other end of that fight usually shooting back at me while I'm...
True, yeah.
But I can almost guarantee, because I've taken it slow and looked, because other games, if you try to shoot before you're done reloading or you move too quick, then it'll cancel your reload. And there's been times where I've stood completely still, reloaded, waited for the whole reload to finish, plus some extra time, and then it still does the reload glitch.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not even just like a timing thing for waiting for the reload to finish. It's legitimately an issue.
And something small too that we picked up on is whenever you reload on this game, it'll say reload, and it's got a little bar that goes from left to right. Whether you complete the reload or not, it always ends with a red bar. So maybe that's something you guys could look at changing. If you have a successful reload, make it a little green bar when it completes. When it's red, when if you shoot too early, if you cancel it somehow, then make it go red. Something like that. Because as of right now, whether you get a successful reload or not, whether you have the reload bug or not, it's a little red bar that comes up. So that can be. It
doesn't even have to be green though. It could just stay white. Like
that too.
You messed up here. It's red. Like red is bad.
Yeah, that too. And I mean, of course, there's other bugs too, like the phantom zone, the phantom gas, which it's irritating, but it's not that bad because of the fact of it's not. So basically, what that is when the zone's closing in, you won't have to be out of the zone or in the red gas. You can be 10, 15 feet inside of it, and it will still tick on you.
Yep.
So that's something that should have been fixed patch 1, but wasn't. But that, like I said, in our opinion, that's not game breaking. It's an inconvenience. It's annoying, but you can deal with it because it doesn't you can be in the middle of the zone, nowhere close to the red gas. It's not going to tick on you. It's not like some random thing that's going to hit you no matter where you are on the map. It's kind of extended from where it actually is. What other bugs are on here that are, I mean, really the only bug that I think of that is a big problem is the reload glitch. There's some minor movement stuff.
Pickup, right?
Yeah, the weapon pickup. So, yeah, sometimes when you're going to pick up a weapon, whether it's on the ground, it seems to be, I don't know, it's kind of hit or miss either way. Like you can grab weapons from the back of a weapon van. And this has happened to me quite a few times. I'll be highlighted on the gun on the left, for example. I go to pick it up, and I pick up the gun that's on the right. It's not even highlighted. So that
You're looking at the left, it says you're picking up an assault rifle, and it ends up picking up, a crossbow on the right-hand side.
right. So that's an issue. And then when it comes to the ground loot, like when you kill a player, the ground loot, sometimes you can't pick up a weapon. I don't know if that's from particularly like somebody picking it up and then dropping it again real quick. Not real sure. But sometimes those things are hard to pick up. So maybe this was something we were thinking about too. Maybe look at adding like death boxes, like in Apex or something like that. And you can do something cool with it, like make it a little coffin. That's another cool little thing you can do. It keeps, everything organized a little bit better. It makes it to where, you can pick up the gun you want the first time. Maybe that's something to look at,
Or, even something where if you're looking at a pile of loot, you can use, so like our scroll wheel, right, is weapon swapping. Maybe if you're looking at a giant pile of guns and, weapons, your scroll wheel will scroll through whatever's on the ground that you might want to pick up, right?
yeah.
Like there's different options, but if I'm looking at a giant pile of stuff where 3 people have died and I can clearly see, like a purple sniper or a katana or something that I really want, and I'm sitting there trying to move my mouse around to highlight it and I just can never find it, or I'm highlighted on it, I want to pick it up and it picks up something completely different.
Right. And that's the thing too. They've done a good job with, like, when a player dies, the weapon spacing on the ground is good. Like, you don't have weapons stacked on top of each other, which is really good. But the problem is even with that, you still don't always pick up the gun that you're trying to pick up.
Yep.
So, and the little coffin death box, that would come on, that'd be cool. So, I'm not saying you have to do it, but it might be something looking into. I think it's awesome.
This isn't necessarily a bug, but just on the topic of weapons that you pick up from other people, I get the logic that if I kill somebody that has a gold SMG and they had 1 bullet left in there, that I pick it up, I have 1 bullet left. But I feel like it should be the same as picking up a new weapon, where the new person that has it has the full ammo, right? And you could probably code it to where, if you drop it and pick it up and it's the same person or it's a person on the same team, then, it's not a workaround for reloading. But if somebody dies, I feel like their weapon should, the ammo should reset itself.
Especially with how fast this game is and how things happen a lot.
Because if I kill somebody with a pistol and they have an SMG and I start getting pushed, I'm going to want to get that SMG in my hands as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And if I have to hurry up and reload it, then that's just going to put me in a bad spot.
And that's something we forgot to mention too about when we were talking about the third parties on this game. One of the big things about that is that this game is really bad about when you fight a team, usually you're getting hit at your weakest point. And it happens all the time. Even if you say you kill one team, by the time you kill that first team, you more than likely have another team on you. And then even if you kill that second team, you've got another team on you, or you're fighting off that other team as you're killing the other team. The way the game plays, you just never really have an opportunity to reset once you start fighting, especially if you're in a hot area. There's no reset potential a lot of the time. It's difficult.
And you can see other teams coming at you, but there's also instances where they're on you without you even knowing, because just how quick you can move, the leaps that you can do, teams running on rooftops and jumping across, streets and stuff.
The noises,
like
climbing up on the building right next to you in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, if you're in the bottom of shopping or anywhere, you hear people climbing up the tops, coming in. You hear the people up top hear people moving around and shooting and healing, and you hear everything. It's a smorgasbord of information.
It is.
Yeah, it's forever giving.
Yeah, it don't stop. It don't let up. That's for sure. And not always. Like, it does let up at times, but
Yeah.
the majority of the time, once you start fighting somebody, even if you win the fight, you ain't catching a break for a minute, especially if you're in a sweaty lobby.
Yep.
So I guess the next thing
Apex cut down on their sound, though, I believe.
I don't remember.
Sometime around between first and second year, they cut down on the distance that shots could be heard.
Right.
See, I don't even
Try to cut
necessarily.
down on how far away people could engage a third party from.
I
And then
feel
they
like
still had to do the change to where a third party doesn't get the kill credit for a knock, which on this game they're just gonna wait for you to res, and then they'll knock you, and then they'll get the kill.
Mm-hmm.
that's
like-
another thing that I
I
feel,
feel like
people get
you
annoyed
should
with.
have a timer to where, like, either when you get back up, when you get to full health, or you have 5 seconds before your credit can go to a new kill or to a new person or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so backtracking a little bit, I don't necessarily think they need to change the sound distance, but they need to make it less precise. Because right now in the game, you can hear sounds, and with your enhanced vision, with your sound cues, you know exactly where people are.
Yeah, the heightened senses.
I
You know.
had there was an idea that I touched on with Prowler. It would be so if you cut the distance down that you could hear gunshots and other audible cues by 50%, give Prowler the ability to hear sounds increased by 20% as a passive perk. That
So it
would
goes down for
really
everybody,
make-
but gets enhanced for Prowler a little bit.
Right.
Something like that, yeah. Because Prowler is Prowler's not too great. I mean, to be
weak.
real. I mean, his bats are cool, but
Which I've got a better idea for the bats as well, because there was something I was like concerned-ish about on week 1, 2, but hell, I can't remember the last time I accidentally went into a bat swarm. You see it, you just avoid it.
yeah, and it doesn't. I mean, comparatively to the size of the map and how the movement is on this game, those bats cover a very small area. I mean, you have to be in a really particular choke point to really utilize them effectively. But considering how the map is constructed, there's not a whole lot of realistic choke points that you can force a team into. And there's really not. I mean, they just kind of have to get caught there. Instead of you're not really going to force anybody into a choke point on this game. There's just too many options of movement at your disposal.
So real quick, y'all keep going real quick. I'm gonna go put Bailey to bed. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. So one of the ideas I had for Prowler's bats was either the bats you throw, they act just like they are now. There's a cloud of bats. Anyone that gets caught in the cloud of bats, when they leave, there's a small bat swarm that lingers on them.
Or a bat could latch onto
10
them.
seconds.
Yeah.
Or a bat, latches onto them. Ooh, that would be cool. So it would be like an audible or like a visual cue that doesn't even need to change in the game. It would just be something that you could put in the gameplay, like the ability description. So anyone who gets caught in bat swarm, a bat latches on and continues to
That's a really good
be a
idea.
location for 10 seconds.
It's a really good idea.
Or where you launch it, it's there for like 5 seconds, and then after 5 seconds, the swarm slowly spreads out in a ring until it dissipates into nothing over a certain distance.
Yeah, there's
Too overpowered, but that would be nice. Or I've been thinking about like a wave or a line of bats and just slowly moving forward. That would be too overpowered.
Yeah, there's a couple options there because, like we said,
Cling, that was nice.
Yeah, that Prowler, Prowler's just not. I mean, he's got to be toward the bottom of as far as like how many his pick rate. Like, yeah, the bats just don't do a whole lot. So yeah, that's something to look into.
I mean, that's for like your high octane sweat right there, who needs no help, no extra perks, no thrills, just attack.
Mhm.
And you see the. I mean, it's very lackluster.
Yeah.
And and even then, it's like.
Or you know what? Something else.
Why restrict myself to Prowler? I know where the hell they're gonna be. I can hear every damn thing. If I do Vandal, they can't break line of sight on me because I can boost out and then bam.
Yeah.
I can then pound with my dude. It's so hard to break line of sight on Vandal.
Yeah, something else to think about too
Prowler.
with Prowler is that you could even change it to where the bat maybe doesn't reveal them, but the bat could also siphon health to Prowler or something like that. I mean, it really plays on the whole bat thing. You know, a bat latches on and either, you know, reveals them for 10 seconds after they leave or siphons health to Prowler for, you know, 10 seconds or something like that.
When the ability is over, the bats return from the people that they clung to.
Yeah, and then bring him health back. Yeah, that's something like
dude,
that.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
So you could hit them with it, and then they would either have to push you, but you can't leave beyond a certain distance. Otherwise, like, they return immediately, or they're unable to find you.
Yeah.
So you have to stay like within the area. But that would be really nice.
Should make a separate video on like abilities and shit, you know, stuff like that. That would be cool. But yeah, that's something we just thought about, like right here on the spot, something like that. That would be cool. So one of the big things that I believe this game suffers from is its general content. I've heard quite a few people say that the game's a little stale, and I've felt that way at times too. And I think it's predominantly, I mean, it has something to do with the gameplay, obviously, but I think a lot of it too is the content that this game provides. I think you guys have done a great job on pumping out, you know, content. Like the store's not barren, but the problem is that there's a whole lot of repeats in the store. Some of the best content that you guys have come out with were early access items that a lot of people can't get their hands on now. And there's just not a whole lot there. Like, and some of the stuff too. I mean, right now there's not a whole lot of content being put out into the store. Like I said, you guys have done better with it. But especially when there's not a whole lot of, I don't know, I guess you could say really creative options. Yeah. And then when you also,
like, there's not out of the box, it's a lot of it's just a lot of the same. And some of it, I didn't want it the first time it was in the store.
Yeah, some stuff's been in there like 4 or 5 times. Yeah.
I want to spend money on this game so bad, but I am struggling to talk myself into a lot of these. Like, half the time I'll get something just because I literally have nothing else that I can do to change my character, do anything. It's the same stuff that I got from the Battle Pass, and I'm dying for like another color for hair or eye or some colored tattoos.
Yeah, some of the stuff on here is good. There's just not enough of it. And there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people care nothing about. Like us personally, and I'm sure we could speak for a lot of people out there, a lot of these tattoo options that come out, nobody cares about them. Like I mean, you got to think too, a lot of the clothing on here doesn't show a whole lot of skin. So a lot of the time you're not even going to be able to see a lot of the tattoos you even have. And some of the tattoos on here are like little words and stuff like that. You're not going to be able to see that. I mean, the tattoos are,
what is this?
I'm not a fan of the tattoos at all. There's, also some of the eye colors. The eye colors are awesome, but some of the ones like one has like a white eye with like a blue iris or something like that, and there's another one that is a white eye with a red iris. Like those look cool, but they're a little hard to see. There just needs to be
already have a white eye that has already been in the store 2 times, a 3rd time under a different name. And it's like, I would love that eye. But I don't love it enough to spend the money on it just because there's nothing else. to spend my money on.
Yeah.
I got a tattoo earlier this morning for specifically for Muse or Siren, and it was really nice. It's got that kind of garter belt type style to it. It's really nice, but as I'm looking at it, I was like, I want it simply because whenever there is an outfit, it'll be cool maybe. But there's nothing I know I own right now that will show most of this off.
Right, yeah. And there's not a whole lot of stuff
like that one outfit that we saw last night.
Oh yeah, that really cool one.
Man,
for Muse or whatever.
I dropped $20 on that outfit now.
There's just not a whole lot of stuff in the store to where it gives you that feeling of like, oh man, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
And then especially too, when some of the stuff on here, you can only have it for certain archetypes. I mean, I get that because certain archetypes have different styling. I get that, but it really sucks when you see something that you really want to have, but you don't play that character. So
like if it's going to be restricted to a character, then at least allow the ability to customize that outfit for that character.
Maybe so.
Because there's two for a female Prowler that I would love to have, but I hate both colors. Like one just bland as hell, which I'm living in a world of bland, and then another one's just white and orange, or no, yellow and orange.
Yeah.
The opposite of anything I would go for. So it's, I don't know, maybe I'm missing a certain style that is known in this genre or something, but or I'm just saying, if people love the game, they won't mind spending money. They will love to spend money so they can.
Well, that's what you have to do from the free to play model. I mean, if you're free to play, then you got to have some good content rolling out. I mean, look at Fortnite. I mean, obviously it's an awesome game and it's got its uniqueness of the building and everything like that, but
yeah,
Fortnite's store is absolutely incredible. I mean, it really is. I mean, they have great emotes, they have great skins. There's a lot of them. They're just not, they're not just pushing out recolors. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff in that store. And I'm not the biggest fan of Fortnite, but even if you're not, their store is great. I mean, their store is awesome. Welcome back.
Like, I'm
sorry,
not head over heels about Fortnite.
No, that's not
I'll
good.
play it nowadays because of the no build.
Yeah.
But if there's a good enough skin in there, break down and get it.
And that's something too. Fortnite pulled in a lot of players like ourselves, for example, that they don't like what makes Fortnite unique, the building. They like the mechanics of the game, they like how the game plays, but they don't like the building aspect. So if you guys could, if there was a new game mode incorporated in Bloodhunt that was maybe more competitively driven or had the, the self-res thing that we were talking about earlier, anything like that, that could possibly drive more players to come back. Because the thing is, as much time as we've had on this game can be very competitive. It lends itself to competitive gamers. But the mode doesn't exactly line up with that. And then of course you can't have a game just solely on competitive gamers. You got to have the casuals in there too. People, that enjoy the game. So I think there's some type of disconnect with the game to where the competitiveness is there, but it's super, super sweaty at times. And those more casual players just can't stick around long enough to really enjoy the game.
Competitive doesn't really lend itself very well to BR. I mean, like when I think competitive, BR doesn't pop in my mind. So it's.
Well, I mean,
I think it can.
Mode that would be more competitive. I mean, but how do you make?
It's the way it is nowadays, though, right?
People?
It's just the way that it is.
Well,
BRs are what's running the.
I mean, and that's what
scene right now.
is stopping some people from playing certain BRs because of the sweat and the third parties, like Apex. It killed itself for a short period of time, and there are still today people that are stopping playing it.
Well, if you remember,
back and forth.
Apex had a big problem with content for a while. Their store wasn't great. They were just pushing out a whole lot of recolors. There wasn't a whole lot of uniqueness to the store. And they just didn't have a whole lot of content pushing the game forward. And that's, I mean, on a free-to-play title, that's the name of the game. The game's got to play well, but you have to have the content to support it. You have to have players play games to be competitive. They want to see how good they are, right? They want to see how good they can get individually. But there's also the aspect of what do they have to play for. A lot of players don't play in tournaments and stuff like that. They just want to get on, have a good time, and look cool while doing it. If you don't have the content in the store and also in the Battle Pass, there's not a whole lot of incentive there for that player to keep playing, especially if there's a lot of irritating aspects to the game, which can be with Bloodhunt. And personally, the Battle Pass on this game, I thought was a pretty big letdown. There's some cool stuff there's some cool stuff sprinkled through there. But the first week we were done with the Battle Pass. And
in over 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, we blew through the Battle Pass like it was nothing. And it's not like we were pulling a bunch of all-nighters or anything. We were just putting solid time on every day. But there just wasn't a whole lot of, I would say, usable stuff in the Battle Pass. Like, there's got to be cooler stuff in there. Like the Blade outfit and the Matrix outfit stuff was cool. But one of the things I didn't like seeing, which I understand why you guys did it, was there was like different variations. Like, for example, in the Blade and the Matrix thing, you had like the core outfit. And then when you got to level 100, you got, the trench coat or, whatever, the fully completed thing, which that makes sense. That's cool. But there needs, there needs to be more outfits and less of these minuscule tattoos. I mean, there needs to be more things.
Tattoos in there, man.
I mean, and you made a point before. There's plenty of tattoos, but you don't have really the outfits to show them off.
Right, and that's a big thing. It's like, why would I buy this tattoo if you can't even see it? I mean,
there's like 15 chest tattoos, and I'd say 15% of the whole lot are actually visible on a majority of my outfits.
Right.
So you either can't see all of it or enough of it. So
yeah.
It's like,
and what
the underwear and bras already.
And what do you guys think about? I think we pretty much nailed the content thing. There needs to be more. There needs to be more. There needs to be more creativeness. Look, something's got to be done with the content because there's just not enough between the store and the Battle Pass. There's not enough incentive for players to play for. It's just not there right now. Especially once you get done with the Battle Pass. Like, it took us a week. I mean, we're just, we're playing and for stats, and we're hoping some new cool stuff gets dropped in the store, which is far and few between.
And, you look at Apex, and when we were playing that a lot, every Battle Pass was, I want to get to level, 60 so I can get this. That looks really cool.
Right.
Or, Fortnite, a lot of people are trying to get up to the Battle Pass to get, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't see anything in Bloodhunt's Battle Pass where I thought, I can't wait to get to this level so I can get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think about them adding new guns? I think, like a new gun or two would really spice things up because the guns.
So,
I'm more for about a new character because I really don't mind almost any of the guns. I still need to improve on the shotguns, but it's refreshing not having a problem or finding it tough to find a gun that you enjoy using.
I agree.
I enjoy using most of the guns in the game. I love sniping in the game, and
well, they could do something like you mentioned earlier. Just add a different variant. Like you have your standard sniper right now. Add like a bolt action sniper or something like that. Or add like another, a bolt action DMR or something like that.
Alternate fire modes.
Give us a sniper that can do a one shot down with a headshot if you don't have a plate on. Right? Like right now, the max you can do is 160. So if you don't have a plate, you have 40 health left. If you have a plate, you've got 90. Give us something where a headshot does 200. If you don't have a plate on, you're going down.
Yeah, it could be like a mythic item or something.
Reload or something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, like a mythic like Barrett 50 cal or something like that does, 200 damage or something like that, but make it very scarce. I mean,
yeah. Not easy to find at all.
yeah, if there's if there's like 15 gold boxes on the map, make it available in like 1 or 2 at the most.
Yeah, one or 2 per game max.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, that would be something cool.
But so on the game or on the guns, I said this earlier, right? Beauty and simplicity. If you jump on Warzone or you jump on Apex or, Fortnite, the first thing you're trying to do is like, oh, which gun's better, right? Like Warzone, which SMG is the best? And you've got 5 or 6 plus to pick from. Fortnite, you've got, 2 or 3, close range to pick from. Most BRs have all of these different guns that you can pick from, and you're just sitting there trying to figure out which one of these guns that's basically the exact same is better. With this one, you want to snipe? All right, you've got one, right? You want something that's a long range single shot? All right, you've got a toggler or maybe a 9-barrel if you decide to, single shot that.
Right.
You want something mid range, LMG assault rifle. You want something short, SMG or Tommy gun.
Burst on a single shot.
Yeah, burst on single shot for
but even
longer
then
range.
You gotta kill an entity.
Yeah,
and they're not all over the place. So.
Well, here's something. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say so that right there makes me enjoy this game a lot more because one, you don't have a ton of different weapons that you have to unlock and customize and try to earn attachments for like you do in Warzone. And you also don't have a ton of guns that you have to try to find and loot attachments for like you do Apex. You get the gun, that's the gun you've got.
Right. Something I just thought about too, there's no weapon skins on this game, is there?
No, but I mean, it wouldn't be making me happier.
I don't think you'd be able to see them that well.
Yeah, but some really dope weapon skins would be pretty awesome.
It would have to be really fucking dope. Because
third party,
I just want one outfit that I am in love with. Gotta have. I like some of the Muse ones, but I still don't. Ain't gotta have them.
Or only
just very
and
they would get old after a while.
So I know only make them available in ranked. You don't have to do a whole lot of weapon skins, but for example, if you play ranked solos, when they're available. Depending on your rank, you get different colored masks and stuff like that. Do it where you also get, a gold or a platinum gun skin or something to go along with it, something like that. So that way you don't really have to worry about providing a whole lot of gun skins, but it gives those players that, get to higher levels another incentive to play besides just a mask. So, give them a mask and a gun that match or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Is there anything else you guys want to mention that you really feel needs to be said before we wrap this up?
Nothing that I can think of.
I definitely need another character. I'm looking forward to another character. Please.
Another character, please.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'd wrap up on is there's a lot of stuff we talked about here about how to improve the game and bugs that are happening, things that are bad. But like you started off with, we're huge fans of the game. We're happy with how it plays, and we mentioned this before. Sharkmob came out with an update, kind of like a state of the game almost.
Yeah.
And said that they were going to be pushing out, more content, more frequent updates, quicker patches, things like that. So, we see that they're making that effort. There's just got to be a little bit more.
Yeah. So
we're not doing this because we don't like the. I mean, this is the first time we've ever collectively done this together.
Yeah, we're speaking.
We heard about a game enough to actually get our opinion out there and hope to keep this thing going.
Right.
I really tried to be obstinate to playing this game. I tried my hardest not to, or to wait after the beta. I think, or I played maybe right at the end of the beta, and then the start of the launch. but I wasn't in a big hurry. Just,
Right. I almost had to beg you to get on here and play it
Yeah.
consistently.
And once I got on, like, it's rough feeling like a baby deer out there, not knowing how to move properly. But once you do it, man, I've never been so hooked. And the
Yeah.
only thing that's disappointing me and scaring the shit out of me, it's week 10, and there's barely more than 10 people streaming this game on Twitch.
Yeah.
Not 10 pages, barely one page.
This game giveth,
That.
but it also taketh very quickly.
Man, yeah, man.
I think I said it before. It was what was it, Friday night? There were like 1,200 people in the game.
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
Well,
on Steam.
Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Steam. But
So I mean, basically, this is just 3 seasoned vets of first-person shooters, third-person shooters, battle royale, competitive. We're all competitive guys here, so this podcast may have been a little bit more from a competitive standpoint to a certain extent. But this is just 3 guys that really love this game. Sharkmob, you guys have done a great job with making this game.
Absolutely.
But it would be, for us, especially me, because this is the first game I've played in years to where I want to get on it every day. I want to stream it. I want to make content. Like, I feel it's the first time in years I've felt an actual connection to a game, and I want it to continue to grow. But
Where you don't have an issue with, like, what gun do you like using, what
Right.
character do you like using. You've got a handful of characters, handful of guns, and more time invested than I've ever seen you put into a game in streaming.
right,
Wow.
since as a shooter, because the last game I streamed was ESO a lot, and that game just
Naturally sucks.
that's a good game too. But the devs, in my opinion, took that game in a different direction. Didn't like it. Whatever. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
for me personally, and I mean, probably Gremlin and probably Rippin', it would be absolutely devastating that a game that we enjoy so much, that has so much potential, would die. I mean, and let's be real here. It's well on its way to that. I don't think it's worth dying. Even in the state that it's in now, it doesn't deserve that. But obviously, the player base out there isn't getting enough of what they need, or they're getting too much, like in the way of stress and hectic, how hectic it is and all that other stuff. So
Out here.
we just wanted to make this, this video to state how great of a job you guys have done. We know you're a small studio. You're doing what you can. You've also done good. I feel you guys have done a great job of taking input from the community.
Yeah.
And just, just keep.
Melee shotgun meta.
Yeah. And I don't think
Got
you,
on there and gave a recommendation, and
we were heard.
like strictly to our recommendation, it was less than a week, and the change was done arguably very close to our exact recommendation.
Yeah. We actually
And-
felt like we were heard.
Yeah, blown away.
And that's a great,
Never
that's
felt
a great
like
feeling.
Somebody listened and applied so accurately what they heard, and boom. Not to make the game easier, but to make the game fair.
More
and
balanced and
balanced,
enjoyable.
More balanced. And nailed it. Hit it out of the park.
Yeah. I think you guys did a great job with that.
Aren't destroyed. They're very relevant. The closer you are, you will get punished. And melees, I rarely run into a guy that's a pain in the ass and has no skill and is just wiping teams off the map.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you guys did a great job with that. And it seems, and there's a whole lot of people out there too. And this is one of the things that I feel a lot of devs fall, it's a shortcoming of theirs is there's a lot of people that play games, right? There's a lot of people that are competitive. There's a lot of people that aren't. There's a lot of people that complain about legit things, and there's a lot of people that just complain about things because they're irritated or they just don't like it. So you got to play that fine line of, okay, who are you taking input from? Are these people, is it a legit gripe, or is it something that's, just an irritation, or is it something that really affects the gameplay? And then how does it affect it? Does it affect it from a casual standpoint, a competitive standpoint, whatever the case may be? But I think you guys did a great job with that update. Everything for the most part operates the way that it should as far as shotguns and melee goes. I think you guys did great. Hopefully this was helpful. Anybody that, watches this, Sharkmob, we pray that you guys watch this and at least consider some of the things that we suggested on here, or, do, like we said, you're a small company, you do what you can. I know things take a little bit longer, and me personally, I don't think you guys have gone necessarily slow by any means, but some things take larger priority than others. So certain things can be done quicker, certain things, whatever, can take their time. But
another stated that they were waiting to put a lot more of this was going to be released in the
update,
July release. When I took my hands back, I'm like, all right, I want more, but I'm gonna wait and see. And please take my breath away.
Right.
I can't wait.
So and anybody that watches this, you guys got any comments, suggestions, your general thoughts, whatever the case may be? Maybe we're a bunch of idiots and have no idea what we're talking about, which it's not the case. But just in case you think that, let us know. But we enjoy the game. We want to see it thrive. It's got the potential to do it. And just because you've lost a lot of players doesn't mean you can pull them. You can't pull them back, because you can. People leave games all the time and they'll come back. If you build it, they will come. And you guys have an incredible foundation to do that. Just keep working hard. We love the work you guys are doing. We believe in it. And we hope and pray that you guys really just accelerate all this and send this game up toward the top, because it's got the potential. It doesn't have to be the best battle royale ever.
Absolutely doesn't.
It doesn't have to be that.
But it's got something special in a sea of BR.
It stands out.
This stands out, and it's not because of building or whatever, but it literally grabs me, because there is a core mechanic and feeling to this game, to the way how it plays, moves, feels, that is so nice.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what it becomes, because it's still in its infancy. It could become so big, and I pray that happens.
So Sharkmob, we appreciate the game you've made. So take some suggestions. Hopefully you do, or at least listen to it. Advertise, get this game out there. Let people know about it, because not enough people know, and I think that's the biggest problem. Look at some of the way the game plays, as far as,
YouTube ads.
As far as, ads on YouTube, because a lot of the time, the players like us that aren't playing the game or aren't watching a stream, we're on YouTube. So YouTube, stream guys, whatever the case may be, support your content creators. Please support your content creators. The big ones, the small ones, whatever. They don't want to feel left out. Keep knocking, keep working on these patches, anything like that. Taking suggestions from the community. Get some content improvements going. Give people incentive to play the game with unlocks and stuff like that. And we understand you guys are doing some things with the game modes, taking them in, taking them out, whatever. I don't think it's a great idea, but I understand you're doing what you can do because the player count's so low. Just improve.
Doubles alone.
Improve on everything. Those players will come back. You'll get more. We believe in you guys, and like we said, you guys have done a great job. Just keep trucking, man. We want to see this game thrive. So. And for you fellow content creators that may be seeing this, don't be so damn negative about this game. A lot of people get on the game, they may be thinking about playing it. They see your content, they see you, bad-mouthing it, whatever, talking about how bad the game is, turns them off. Tell them how great the game is, but be honest about the shortcomings, and let them know it's not game breaking. They got to get time to allocate to the game. And Sharkmob, if you guys can help those newer players get, allocate to it, give them an easier time. Do it. Let's go. I mean, new players, get it out there.
Badmouth Fortnite when there was only building.
Yep.
We told people we didn't like the building, but we loved how it played.
Right.
Same thing with this.
Yep.
Some things you might not like about the game, but say that, point that out. Things that you don't like about it, but don't say that the game's a bad game, because never seen more just exquisite gameplay. Just out of the box, not the norm, loving it, fast, speed, momentum, verticality.
It's got a lot of things that you want in a game.
It's got a lot of things.
It's just got some tweaks that are needed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Ripping, any final thoughts?
Please, sir. I want some more.
Pretty much covered it.
All right, guys. Well, what?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you guys had seen this, but Sharkmob apparently put out something on Twitter 2 days ago, for Bloodhunt, basically saying that they are working hard on the new patch.
I bet they are.
And they said that they have, let me see here. They said, we will be sharing some exciting news about Bloodhunt next week.
Woo!
So
that's good news.
Sometime this coming week, we should be hearing something exciting.
That's good news.
I thought Rip was saying he just got an inbox from Sharkmob or some shit. Like, how the hell did they already hear it? We're not even live streaming.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, this video ran a little longer than we intended, but I think we got pretty much everything said that we needed to. And anybody that watches this whole video or takes anything from it, we appreciate it. We appreciate your time, and let's help drive these developers and help drive the game. Let's get it to the top, boys. So anyways, for myself, BunyBreadSlayer. Oh, by the way, you can catch me on Twitch. I do stream this game. It's twitch.tv BunyBreadSlayer _TV. So, and then Gremlin, Gremlin's starting to stream a little bit too. Gremlin, you want to?
Yep. I'm gotten back into it. Changed my channel to it's RGB_Gremlin. So it'd be, I guess, yeah.
And
or .ttv or whatever, but you'll see us playing together.
Yep. And Rippin', he doesn't stream because he's a little scaredy cat. But yeah. Anyways,
blew all of his money on good hardware and no camera.
But yeah, we appreciate it, boys and girls, whoever's watching. But yeah, more content coming in the future, both on Twitch and here on YouTube. So we look forward to seeing you around. But myself, BunyBreadSlayer, RGB Gremlin, and Rippin', we appreciate it, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.